What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Lavivid Eros system. This is something that I wore for about 2 months before switching hair systems. I have it right here in front of me, the unit that I've worn, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what the specs are of this, how it performed, what my general thoughts are, who it's good for, who it's not good for, all of that stuff. All right. Real quick, this video is sponsored by Lavivid Hair. They make a great product and they have a code Jake15 to give 15% off any of your order, no matter how big it is, as long as it's stock units. Now, I don't get any compensation for when you actually purchase a unit, so this is a objective review. But thank you to Lavivid for sponsoring this video and making it possible for me to give you this information. So your Lavivid Eros is going to come in a box just like this right here, which is nice. I like the gold on it. It's pretty. And inside, when you open it up, you're going to see that your hair system is going to come and it's going to have a netting over it, as well as it's going to be on a piece of plastic that allows the hair system to keep shape. You'll see that I have saran wrap over this right here, and that is just to keep it fresh, to make sure it's not drying out, it's keeping the moisture in, all of that stuff. So that's something, this saran wrap is something I put on this unit right here. So that's what comes when you get a Lavivid hair system, the Eros in specific. So let's talk a little bit about what the Eros is. All right, so the Eros is a full ultra thin skin unit. It is incredibly thin. This is a 0.02 millimeter unit. This is just about as thin as it gets, guys, and it's honestly pretty awesome. I actually really enjoyed my time with this, which we'll talk about later. So this comes with a 90% density as far as Lavivid's scale of hair density. Hair density, once again, is how much hair is inserted into the hair system. The more density you have, the more hair it's going to look like you have up here. Higher densities are not meant for everybody, and lighter densities are not meant for everybody. If you are of European descent, someone perhaps like me, you have less natural hair, don't go over the top with having a unit that is too thick. It's not going to look as natural. It will just be, you can get away with it, but it's not going to look as natural. It does feel nice to have so much hair you can do anything you want though. Anyways, this unit, 90% density, so it's a little bit lighter on the scale of what Lavivid has. And we can see right here, it's not a ton of hair. It's a fair amount. It's good enough for you to look as if you're not losing hair, but it's not going to be, you know, teenage boy level hair density that's really thick or something like that. So keep that in mind if that's what you're looking for. So let's talk about the hair curl. It's a 28 millimeter rod size, which means that it's simply a body wave. The hair, as you kind of wear it, tends to lose some of its wave and tends to straighten out a little bit, but it can be seen inside of the hair system right here. If you look at this right here, you can see it's got a gentle wave to it, nothing too crazy, but this will look good for most hair that's either really short on the sides or those that do have a more straighter hair. This is Indian Remy human hair. Now, Remy hair just means that the cuticles have all been aligned in the proper direction. They're all facing the same direction, which means that your hair is going to look more natural and it's going to flow a little bit better. Indian hair is different than European hair, which should be noted if most of my viewers are European. Indian hair is going to be a little bit coarser. It's going to be a little bit thicker. The actual hair itself is going to be a little bit thicker, so it's going to respond different than European hair will. You know, this hair feels much different than my natural bio hair. It feels a lot different, and it can behave a little bit different too, so that's to be noted. Now, there is 0 knots on this base whatsoever, so this hair is V-looped. V-looped is really common in 0.02, 0.03 thin skin units, so like the thinnest thin skin units in the world are often V-loop, and this right here is where the hair is actually looped underneath and then back up as another strand. So this is not the most durable hair that you're going to find inside of a hair system, just because it can come out. But the very, very thin skin can look very great. Know though that if you have dark hair and you have fairly light skin, that you perhaps can actually see sometimes the V loops, if you will. You can see the it going under and then back up in the hair system. It's not super noticeable, but it is something that I've noticed that it's something that you can see. It is something that you can see. And once again, not as durable as perhaps an injected type base. At least just from what I found, that the V loop does tend to come out. It can come out with tension. Like, so if you pull your hair, or if you got a knot, which we'll talk about later, it can come out because you're essentially kind of pulling the looping out. So definitely not the most durable. Now, Lavivid has this marked as kind of being like a 2 to 3 month hair system, so that basically you replace it every 2 to 3 months. I do think that one person could get more than 2 to 3 months out of this, but you have to be very, very careful, and you have to know what you are doing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've learned so much over the past really 2 months of wearing this hair system right here, because I've been learning to actually reduce the amount of hair that's lost through my hair system. My pattern of washing my hair, combing my hair, what I put in my hair has completely changed. It's completely changed, and it's pretty crazy. I've got to do some updated videos on this and resolve some of those issues. So yeah, this is something that, unless you take really, really good care of, it's probably going to be something that you replace a little bit sooner than maybe like a poly hybrid hair system, kind of like I've been wearing. I tended to get a lot more duration out of those and a lot less hair loss from those. So I think that I can compensate, and I think I can be gentler on my hair systems now that I kind of know what I need to do and how I need to do it. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. So let's talk about first off, a thin skin unit for people that are active like me, right? So I had a really bad experience with thin skin units when I first started wearing hair systems. Like, I was basically overheating all the time. I was living in Florida, working out, doing CrossFit every single day. And I just had an unpleasant time. Like, it was really not comfortable, and I actually wound up shaving my head. Until I found hybrid systems where, heat could escape and it was ventilated, and I was just feeling so much better, and decided I was never going back. I've tried these like 0.02 units now, and it's actually changed my mind again. I live in Utah now. It's a lot less hot, which definitely has an impact. But here's the thing. These 0.02, 0.03s are actually somewhat gas permeable. You can find videos online of smoke actually coming up through the poly thin skin. It is so thin that some smoke does come out of it. It's definitely not 100% breathable, but there is some permeability for gas to get through this. And I found that I have not really been overheating inside of these poly thin skins. That being said, I have not tried it in the dead of summer. I have not tried it when it's 90 or 100 degrees. So I cannot yet give a analysis, if you will, on that and how it'll actually perform for me, or if like I'll go crazy because of it. So this is something that we'll figure out. I'll give it another try during the summer, but for now I'm gonna say, like, this is actually something that you can wear if you are a really active person, if you're sweating a lot, you're going to the gym a lot. This worked for me. It really did. Now let's move on to talking a little bit about the durability of this hair system. So I wore it for about 2 months, and I got it cut halfway through, and I put it through the ringer, working out, snowboarding, wearing hats, all the kind of stuff, going about living my daily life. Now I noticed that I lost quite a bit of hair from this hair system. I'm gonna actually put this up. I don't know if you're really gonna be able to see it very well. If you look right here at the top, kind of like where my middle finger was right there, you'll see it definitely looks a little bit thinner, like at the front of the unit, than especially back in through here. You see how there's a lot less hair up front. Well, I did find that with this hair system, I lost a lot of hair out of it. There's honestly one thing that caused a lot of hair to come out when I was using this system, and that was actually the hair getting knotted. Basically kind of getting clumped up, right? And me trying to unknot my hair. I've started brushing my hair systems a lot more to keep them knot free, but I did experience with this system that I was getting some more knotting, and I don't actually think that's because of the hair system itself. I think it's just because of how much I put it through. Now, there is one other factor, and this is something I've recently learned. It's something that's completely changed my hair system wearing game like forever. In fact, I'm doing it with this system right here that I have, and it is incredibly luscious. I mean, the hair quality is just staying so good and so fresh, so moisturized, and just feels so smooth. To any of the guys on this channel that have been wearing hair systems, you know, when you get a little bit further into your journey, if you've been wearing a system for 2 to 3 months, it can start to feel really dry. And when it gets really dry, man, it is really easy to get it knotted up, especially while you're sleeping. Make sure you get a silk pillowcase for that. But while you're sleeping and rolling around, it's really, really easy to get your hair knotted. It's matted. Even if it's dry, like, you know, you're pressing up against it and maybe rubbing around, all of that kind of stuff. Really easy to get those knots. Really easy to get them too when you are washing your hair and you are trying to style it and you're not really taking care to make sure that is orderly. You know, if you're running your hands through your hair and you're doing that kind of stuff, it can really, really get it knotted. So with this system, I got a lot of hair knotted, and it really, really showed. Now with the V loops that's in the base of this, it really did start to fall out a fair amount around a month into wearing the hair system. I noticed that I was sometimes just getting clumps of hair. In fact, I kind of got this, it's a little bit gross, but one of the last times that I was actually, you know, combing out my hair, this is when I reinstalled my hair system the last time. I was in the shower and I was trying to get all of the knots out because I wanted to have a fresh install, have the hair in good condition, get it conditioned, all that kind of stuff. This right here was pulled throughout many, you know, combs throughout the hair system, but this, I lost all of this hair like one time in the shower. You know, it's a lot of hair. Like if you think about it, that's one time in the shower, like all of this hair. Now, that being said, that's not due to Lavivid. It's not due to it being a bad product. What it's due to is me not knowing how to actually, me not properly managing my hair system. And that's something you gotta watch out for, especially with the V loops. They just don't hold up as strong as, you know, like a poly. It just doesn't hold up as well as something that has knots in it. And remember, there's different knots that have more or less strength. Like a half knot is much weaker than a single knot, and a single knot is much weaker than a double knot. However, a double knot is going to have way more lift, and it's going to be a lot more visible than a single or a hair or a half knot. You know, you're constantly balancing the pros and cons of knots, of base types, of all this stuff. It is what it is, but you just got to make the best of it. So if you have V loops, you really, really need to be careful not to get your system knotted, and it's not because of knotting, it's because of tugging on the hair. That's what you need to be watching out for. And you need to figure out a way to keep your system nice and moisturized and keep it locked in and looking fresh. I figured out a way, and it's actually like a really simple product that, let me know in the comments below, guys, if you would love me to like make the product. I kind of put it together through a couple weird ingredients through like my other searches with like nutrition and my girlfriend being obsessed with like moisturizing her skin. I found out something that really, really works for hair. If you're interested in that, like if you would buy a product for, I don't know, $5-10 that would last you a month or two, and keep your hair system really moisturized or really fresh, leave me a note in the comments below. And that's actually something I might consider making and branding and giving to you guys. But anyways, guys, so going back to the Lavivid Eros here, I think it's a great hair system. I'd actually really recommend this for someone just starting out who does and who is going from being bald, does not have a lot of hair. The 90% density is actually, it's pretty dope. I really liked the 90% density. It kind of threw me for a loop at first and I felt kind of uncomfortable with it, but once I got used to it, it was money. And I really don't want to go back to a much thicker hair system. For me, I'll probably stick around this density right here, which is more around comparably. This is probably about 100 and 105% compared to what Lavivid's 90% was. If you go back and you watch the videos of me with before this hair system and look at the one with the Eros, you will see that even when it was brand new, it still had less hair than this one right here. So it's just the way it works, guys. So anyways, guys, Lavivid Eros, great hair system. Definitely something you should consider. I think it's great for someone who's just getting into hair systems and wants a lighter hair system, or if you're of European descent, I think it can be a great option for you all around. Got to be mindful of losing the hair density because it is lighter already, number one. And number two, you have V-loops, which is not as stable as having a single or a double knot that you might find in other hair systems. I love how thin the thin skin is. The hairline looks really good, especially if you use a liquid adhesive. I did try it one time, looked fantastic. The tape, a little less good, but that's to be expected. Tape is a little bit thicker. But overall, really solid unit, really enjoy it. Gotta watch out though for losing the hair density, especially with the V-loops. The system worked for me in a little bit colder climates, working out, getting my sweat on, didn't bother me, didn't feel like I was overheating, didn't get super scratchy under the hood, all of that stuff. So that being said, definitely something I think you should give a try, and experience for yourself. I think you'll really enjoy it. And anyways, guys, thank you so much to Lavivid for sponsoring these videos and making it possible. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below if you did find value from this, if you enjoyed it. And yeah, we will see you soon, guys.